Well, currently I'm a first fellow at the Paulson Institute based at the University of Chicago. The Paulson Institute's focus is primarily U.S.-China, and what I'm working on is things like cross-border investment, energy policy, the environmental side, sustainability, as well as the broader U.S.-China relationship. I also write a regular column for The Atlantic Monthly and trying to finish up my first book on China that should be due out later this year. Well, I was certainly obviously interested in the study of China, and I think perhaps it was random impressions that I felt China was going to become a very important topic in the near future, and that turned out to be the case in retrospect. But I think I wanted a deeper intellectual foundation on how to approach China, how to look at China from different angles, and I think that's what the CCS program provided for me. I think getting your thesis done was very important. I think I had a great experience because I was on fellowship in Beijing, so I had in-country experience that was terrific, as well as great guidance from professors on across the board that really helped me shape and discuss the thesis. It probably took a little longer than it should have, but it did get done. I think I think doing a project like that really imposes a certain sense of discipline, and to actually get something done and follow through, which I think really is important in your professional development, because a lot of times people tend to not have the discipline to really focus on a large scale project, and I think to do that and to be able to do it well and to pursue it on a topic of your interest, I think that's really important. Well, one thing I mentioned already is that I think it provided a very robust intellectual foundation in terms of thinking and analyzing China. I'm more of a social science, political economy type of person, so I focused on that side, and I felt the interdisciplinary nature of the program really helped me not only understand the social science parts, but also the humanities parts, and how those two things interacted. And I think to really get the full sense of China and how to approach it, you really have to have interdisciplinary focus. I always tell people, in PhD programs, you have on American politics as its independent category. Well, I think you can also have the same thing on China because it's large enough and it's diverse enough to really have that. And I think to really approach China in the 21st century, you got to have a solid foundation, not just intellectually, but also I think linguistically. Well, I think China has become such a large actor on the global stage now that whatever it does will have global implications. It's $8.3 trillion economy. It's clearly by far the second largest economy now. It surpassed Japan by $3 trillion. So anything, I like to joke that whenever China sneezes, the world catches a cold. So I think the things that would make me really focus on China and the world over the next, say, 5 to 10 years is how China urbanizes sustainably. They want to bring 300 million people into cities. That's the equivalent of creating a New York-sized city per year. So the scale is just staggering. And two, I think a really important issue now with the new leadership coming into power is, will the Chinese reform and rebalance its economy? It's one of the critical issues for China's domestic interests as well as the world's interests. So those two things, how they interact with each other. I think China's at a fairly significant crossroad in terms of what it wants to do and what kind of global power it wants to be. And in fact, I would put that as the third basket, is what kind of global power does China want to project? Because everybody is expecting it to do more, to be more responsible, but it's, there are domestic constraints of how far China can go.